In this video, we'll take a look at Newton's method. This is a method that's used to approximate the zeros of a function or the solutions to equations by using tangent lines. Suppose that we had a function that has a zero, or a function that crosses the x-axis. Suppose our function looks something like this. Now, I could take a guess and say that maybe the root is somewhere here. Let's call that value x1. And as we follow that up to our function, at this point we can consider the tangent line. The tangent line would cross the x-axis. Let's say that it crosses it here at the point x2. And then from this x2, we can continue the process and consider the tangent line at that point. This tangent line will cross at this point x3, and notice that as we go from x1 to x3, the points get closer and closer and closer to the zero of the function where the function crosses the x-axis. For our tangent line at x equal to 1, this tangent line has the equation y minus f of x1 is equal to f prime of x1 times x minus x1. Again, this is the equation for our first tangent line. Our tangent line intersects the x-axis at x2. So at x2, our y value would be 0. So if you want to find this x2, our y value would be 0. And our x value would be x2. In this equation, if we solve for x2, we would have that x2 is equal to x1, our previous value, minus f of x1 divided by f prime at x1. Again, this is the value for x2, where our first tangent line intersects the x-axis. I can repeat the process similarly to find x3. And if I repeat the process, I would have that x3 would be equal to x2 minus f of x2 divided by f prime at x2. And repeating the process over and over and over, I can come up with a generalization for these intercepts. In particular, that x of n is equal to the previous value x of n minus 1 minus f of x minus 1 divided by f prime at x of n minus 1. So through this equation, we would get the formula for the sequence of values for the x's that get gradually closer and closer and closer to the zero of my function. This is the formula that we will be using to approximate the value of those zeros